What's up, Taurus? This is going to be a description from the Herbal Astrology Oracle deck, this card, and this particular deck is by Adriana Ayala's, and then we'll go into the actual reading thereafter. Okay, so this particular card is ayahuasca with the subtext of rebirth. Rebirth, mastery, great revelation, discovery of higher self, meeting with the creatrix, divine messenger, gifts from spirit, realization, telepathy, transcendence. Ayahuasca is an ancient ceremonial blood native to the Amazon. Used as a sacred spiritual medicine among many indigenous peoples within South America, in Quechua, Ayab means soul or spirit. Huasca means vine. Ayahuasca is primarily made of two key plants: the Banisteriopsis caapi vine and the Psychotria viridis, also known as chacruna, along with other ingredients which vary depending on the medicine maker and curandero. The ancient ayahuasca brew is traditionally prepared for curing ills, divination, and as a diagnostic tool for healing others. It is served by a shaman as a sacred songs and dances are performed to honor and invoke the spirits. The brew induces a profound visionary state, igniting supernatural abilities such as vivid communication with ancestors, relationships with interdimensional beings, the ability to see into the future, and more. Amazonian folk healers have used ayahuasca primarily to rejuvenate the body and soul, as well as to purge the body of accumulated toxicity as a cellular, gastrointestinal, and psycho-emotional cleanser. Scientific studies show that ayahuasca may benefit those dealing with depression and PTSD. Shamans connect transdimensionally to the supernatural world, the spirits of nature, and the universe, receiving key information about the universe and specific instructions on how to heal individuals. True shamans are mystics, healers, divine messengers, and they enter portals and fulfill tasks and duties beyond our third dimensional understanding. Ayahuasca is regarded as a master plant by shamans and used as a primary medium along with other herbs and herbal practices that assist in the process of purification and receiving supernatural skills that allow them to channel divine energy. Since ayahuasca is composed of two sacred plants, each one archetypally contributes its essence to create this perfected elixir. Banisteriopsis Neptune is the fertile ground that holds the vision. Charuna, Pluto, is the cathartic experience that broadcasts the visionary state. And the profound wisdom gained is Jupiter's blessing. This is the guidance portion. You are mastering the power of awareness when aligning to a higher power. Ayahuasca spirit is here to help support your ascension, drawing upon an ancient wisdom embedded in your DNA and earth to allow yourself to be shattered as you travel through the cosmic womb. Ayahuasca catalyzes purification through the cathartic release of the known, only to reveal undiscovered terrain within your soul. You are one with the magnetic brilliance of the source, the intelligence that orchestrates the great mystery. Feeling lost in the labyrinth only comes when a loss of intentionality or respect happens. Offer your greatest intentions, sacrifice your needs, or enter into the void without expectations, and allow yourself to be consumed by the oceanic consciousness. Remember, dear one, that to heal the world, you must heal yourself. You are the source of love. Taurus, I think, first off, there's a reading for Capricorn that is also for ayahuasca as well. I believe that was last week. And you should look into that. And in terms of this idea, what is really, really clicking into place right now, I think, is something that many of us need to understand as a very real thing that is simply unseen by the tangible terms of the 3D world as we understand it today. The operational intelligence for much of our society today, right? We have a lot of things that are simply not going the right way, I would say, right? And this idea, this concept of what's going on, I'm looking at this particular card and I see particularly the baby in this protective embryo that it's made up of. It looks like possibly the nature itself making this embryo, and I see a very real development taking place in this particular world. And if there is any doubt about just what this world is, what value this world can bring for those who understand and recognize it, I would like for you to understand that there is tremendous value in it. This is something that needs to be born. So, when it comes down to this idea of ayahuasca, rebirth, something does need to be reborn, right? That doesn't need to mean that this is going to be the exact same manifestation or it's not going to be the exact same phenotype as we've seen, or the way things manifested in the first birth, right? So, for instance, what does ancient knowledge look like when applied in today's environment, right? There are certainly going to be changes. There's certainly going to be modifications. But what is that? What does that mean for today, right? I think whatever is being born, whatever you have there, it's something that you really, really should have just as much respect for as you do this the chair that you're sitting on, the device that you're listening to this through. You should definitely look at the world with through the lens of someone who understands that things will change. When it comes down to the shaman and what ayahuasca is really used for, where it comes into play, this isn't going to necessarily be something that the world will recognize, that the world will operate with, right? I mean, and we have, and this isn't necessarily saying that the science isn't backing this, but the idea is that, hey, it doesn't make pharmaceutical companies money to particularly go through a lot of the ayahuasca and really discover a lot of what's happening until they can, modify this particular thing and monetize that through, selling this particular thing and make sure all the doctors prescribe this or whatever. There's a system in place to make sure that these things get light through the lens of benefiting just the executives at these companies, right? But it's real. It is very much real. It's very much something that people understand. And that's to say a lot of this isn't going to get light, right? It's not going to get light through this understanding of our society. And so you should not, whatever you've particularly been thinking about, whatever you've been kind of honing in on, you should think in terms of how it can survive today, right? But you should also understand that whatever comes in, whatever form this manifests in, is going to, there's going to be an element that goes beyond the value in terms of the monetary understanding and the monetary value that we prioritize today. So this protection, this very real understanding that you have, hold it, nurture it, and really be able to bring this to light. Be able to be willing to bring this to light in today's world, and truly look at what you can do with this, and start to understand where science approves, where things could be gray, whatever. Look at those things, right? But always look through the lens of understanding, like, hey, we understand that this isn't going to get light in the traditional way that things, or not traditional, but this isn't going to get light under a flashlight that only sees like the spectrums of light that society views as valuable today, right? So and I'm looking at just how careful this particular being is with this knowledge, with this understanding, and what it's able to do. And there's a caution that needs to come with this particular idea and this understanding that you're about to bring into the world. And it comes with that respect. It comes with that understanding, right? Like, we don't want to, I forgot who it was last week that I gave this reading to, or not this reading, but this idea that I'm thinking of. But you don't want to bring essentially this knowledge to, let's say, for instance, to the next Darth Vader, right? So you want to make sure that this is something that you are careful with, very understanding of, very much weaving. What happens today isn't something. This is something that echoes well beyond what we really have. The way things have been kind of echoing, I would say, right? We're in a stage of life. We're in a really a stage of humanity that requires a very much careful weaving. So take your time and be patient and understand that this is very much something that you're going to be able to use and carry in your life, of course. But this is going to be a stepping stone for generations after. And with that being said, I hope you have a good week, and I'll see you next week.